Look, I know many of you are being asked to get a coronavirus test, be it because you came up on a contact tracing list or because your child came home from school with a runny nose, a sore throat, and a fever, whatever. But in parts of our country, especially today in Ontario and Quebec, that prospect means standing in line for hours, 6, 8 hours, and then having to wait for days in isolation, under quarantine while you wait for your results. And that's just crazy. We've been asking for something called rapid testing from Justin Trudeau for months now. And people around the world in countries like the UK and Germany, the US, they're having access to rapid testing where you can get your cheek swabbed, essentially that sample's put in a box and you have the results within 15 minutes, but not here in Canada because we have a Prime Minister who just is behind the curve on everything. I have been pushing the government for weeks now on this issue. And today when we hear about the backlog in Ontario being so big, just because we're facing the second wave, when are these tests, these rapid tests, these at-home tests going to be available to Canadians, given they're available around the world? I want you to watch what Trudeau had to say, but just note that he's going to try and throw all sorts of technical garbage answers at you to try and deflect from the fact that he hasn't done his job. Watch me press him.
Right now, Mr. Speaker, nobody in Canada, not a single person, has access to rapid testing, and that's a failure of this government. And today, the Prime Minister did not answer the Leader of the Opposition's question, which is the question that everyone is asking, which is when are we going to have access to this? When is it going to be deployed? When is it going to be in a long-term care facility or in a school? So to the mom who this morning had her child present with a runny nose and a sore throat and doesn't know what to do because she can't stand in line for a test, when is that test going to be available to Canadians?
Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the honourable member from Nose Hill should perhaps check with her Ontario colleagues because they apparently got access to some private secret rapid test that Health Canada hadn't approved just months ago. Maybe she can find out why they did that particular test and what it was useful for. What I can say and what I did say to the Leader of the Opposition was that in the coming weeks, the Abbott ID Now rapid test will be deployed to help Canadians across the country with rapid testing because we signed a deal with them for 7.9 million tests just yesterday.
Member for Calgary, Nose Hill.
The reality is that the Prime Minister of Canada is responsible for making testing for COVID an elitist principle in Canada. That's the reality right now. People in Canada, somebody who wants to go visit their father with Alzheimer's in a long-term care facility has to go stand in line for 8 hours and then isolate for days to get their test results before they can take that compassionate step. And it's because of his failures. Yep. Why won't he answer the question? He can't answer the question. He hasn't done his job. When will these tests be in the hands of Canadians to use?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
For the third time, Mr. Speaker, the Abbott ID Now test will be out in the coming weeks across the country. Health Canada has delivered on approvals in a rapid way because that's what Canadians expect. But every step of the way, we have put science first. We've respected our scientists, we've listened to them, and we have made sure that we are protecting Canadians.